So let's take a look at more complex conditionals as we get starting with while loops. You may run into some of these. You're probably more likely to start running into more complex conditionals when you get into computer organization and you're looking at logic gates. You're going to start putting ands and ors and nots and XORs and nands and all kinds of things together, and you need to be able to evaluate what that comes out to. We're just focusing on and, or, and not, but let's take a look at some more complex examples of how we might use these. So looking at from our practice sheet again, let's take a look at C of 1b. So we have not, and let's go ahead and fill in what they give us for x. So we're going to say not 12.0 does not equal 4. So we're going to look at this part right here first, and we're going to say 12.0 does not equal 4, and this is true, but when we take not true, this altogether becomes false. So you have to evaluate one piece and then another piece to kind of see how this is going to work out all in the end. So let's take a look at another example. For D, we have that Z, which is 3.1. So we have 3.1 greater than 0 or not true. Okay, well, not true is false. 3.0 is greater than 0 is true. We're looking at an or, so as long as one of these is true, the whole thing is true. Of course, if both of them are true, it would also be true for an or. So in this case, the whole thing is true. All right, let's take a look at so just some of the others are pretty more straightforward. So we have something like E, we would have 3.1 is greater than or equal to 5, or 3.1, this would be 12. So 12.0 is greater than or equal to 5. Or 3.1 equals 2. Well, this is false. 12.0 is greater than 5, though this is true, so the whole thing would be true. And this was number E. So that's how we do these. You basically want to kind of take it one piece at a time. I mean, if we look at D here, we have Y is equal, so we have the string great, all lowercase, equal to great with a capital G, and the case that x, which is 12.0, is equal to 12.0. So this is true. However, for two strings to be equivalent, they have to have every character equivalent, so this would be false. So in this case with the and, the only way you can have an and evaluate to true is that both pieces have to be true. In this case, one is false, so the entire statement is false. So it's a good idea to practice these, and you can always put them into idle and see what actually happens. So you can kind of guess, not really guess, you can work out ahead of time what you think it's going to be, and then actually put them into idle and see whether or not it works out. A good way to do that is to create something like this. You can say, for instance, if whatever your condition you want to test is true, print yes, else print false, or you can just enter it into the shell instead of actually putting it into a file, and when you execute it, it will just print true or false. So give those a practice, because we'll have some of those in the exam, and in addition, you may see some of those in your selection statements or in your while statements, and you'll need to be able to evaluate those to know what's going to happen in your loop or your selections. So happy programming!